It's amazing. It's unique. It's superb. It's a nut. It's groundnut. A common crop with many specialities. Used in myriad forms, in many styles and in various recipes. It is the third most important source of edible oil and the third most important source of protein in the world. Groundnut is a natural wonder. Extremely adaptable to the environment. It can be grown on resource-poor soil. It's a high-income crop with high biological nitrogen fixation potential, and it improves the soil fertility. On world map, India occupies the second position in terms of production and first in terms of area of production of groundnut. Gujarat is the single largest and best quality groundnuts producer state, which counts for over 40% of the total groundnut production in the country. In the last decade, direct consumption of groundnut has increased so much that instead of being considered merely an oilseed crop, it is now being recognized as a supplementary food, an oilseed, and a forage crop. The seeds can be used directly as foodstuff or crushed for expulsion of oil. The expeller cake can be solvent extracted for recovery of 7% residual oil. Both the expeller and solvent extracted cakes are used as cattle feed supplement. In the last 4 decades, the productivity of groundnut has increased many folds. Till 1975, the productivity was below 800 kilograms per hectare. During 1996-2000, it has increased beyond 1000 kilograms per hectare. Currently, productivity has touched a peak of around 1615 kilograms per hectare. This increase in productivity is mainly attributed to the release of high-yielding varieties and improved packages of practices developed and introduced by DGR, the Directorate of Groundnut Research, through its AICRP-G system, Junagadh, Gujarat. The Directorate of Groundnut Research is a premier institute of ICAR established in 1979 to conduct research for enhancing the production, productivity and quality of groundnut.
So basically the institute work for improvement of groundnut, that is mainly groundnut cultivars, its package of practices, its management practices which include crop protection, crop production. So we have very strong interface with the end users, that is farmers, extension agencies, industries. So we interact with them, we try to get their feedback, we improve the technologies developed. Currently we have more than 170 varieties released for cultivation. So some of these are popular, about 44 varieties are still in cultivation. So we produce good quality seed, we support them by materials like biofertilizers, then biocontrol agents, give them advices and support in correctly adopting the new technologies and improving. There is a continuous process of technology refinement. Basically, we are engaged in the improvement of groundnut and groundnut related technologies to all stakeholders, which include, as I said, groundnut growers as well as the industry.
A collection of over 9,000 groundnut germplasm accessions and 105 wild relatives of Arachis species at ICAR DGR and 15,000 accessions at International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics, ICRISAT, are available for exploitation as a huge reservoir of genes. The available variations can be tested and utilized for developing stress-tolerant cultivars by pre-breeding, mutation breeding, and interspecific hybridization, etc. DGR is the nodal center of All India Coordinated Research Project on Groundnut, which is a nationwide network of state agriculture universities and research institutes working on groundnut. This coordinated project acts as the national repository of working collection of groundnut germplasm and information on groundnut research to establish relevant institutional linkages, to offer consultancy and training, and to provide logistic support and coordination mechanism for generation of location-specific technology. So far, 200 varieties have been released, in which 150 varieties are released by different state agricultural universities and 50 from DGR-led AICRP on groundnut system. In this bunch of varieties, nearly 50 varieties are suitable for export. Among these, 4 specific varieties, GG20 of Gujarat, Kadri 6 and Kadri 7 of Andhra Pradesh, and then GG2 of Gujarat. These 4 varieties alone contribute around 60 to 70% of the groundnut export to world market. Mainly due to these varieties, the export of groundnut has increased considerably in last 5 years as compared to last decade. Global trade of Indian groundnut is to the maximum of 100,000 tons a year, and India has exported more than 7 lakh metric ton of groundnut to the world for the worth of more than 4,000 crore during the year 2015.
અમારા લોકલ લેવલે જે મગફળીનું ગ્રાઉન્ડનટ તેલ નીકળે છે તે અહીં લોકલ લેવલે તેલમાં બધાય લોકો ખાય જ છે અને પર્સનલ બ્રાન્ડેડ થીને જ ખપે છે.
To address water stress, DGR has worked out successfully with the microorganisms to minimize use of water in groundnut cultivations. During summer months, when temperature goes beyond 45 degrees, irrigation water becomes critical in most of the groundnut areas. By using microorganisms, number of irrigations reduced, resulting significant saving in irrigation water.
And we have developed so many biofertilizers for the clean cultivation, eco-friendly cultivation of groundnut without much application of chemical fertilizers. These biofertilizers have been recommended after testing in all India basis, and now it will be available to the entrepreneurs as well as the private farms for multiply it, mass multiply it and make it available to the clients, that is the farmers. By application of these biofertilizers, we can enhance the yield of groundnut by 10 to 15%.
DGR's crop improvement wing has managed to introgress disease-resistant genes into cultivated groundnut varieties. DGR has developed 3 improved groundnut varieties. Girnar 1, which is a Spanish bunch variety. This variety is resistant to biotic diseases and abiotic stresses. Girnar 2 is also a Virginia bunch variety, which has bold kernels. This variety has average shelling turnover of 69% and yields 51% oil. Whereas Girnar 3, which again is Spanish bunch variety, has fresh seed dormancy of 2 to 3 weeks depending upon season and drying process. It matures in 104 to 111 days and has moderate levels of end-of-season drought stress. Other than these, there are 4 varieties which have been developed by SAUs from the segregating materials supplied by DGR are HNG10, GG5, GG7 and AK159. These varieties have less maturity time and more oil content in them, which is good for farmers. The optimum requirements for NPK fertilizers have been determined and practices for control of weeds. 2 efficient rhizobium strains, IGR6 and IGR40, have been identified. Scientists have also identified several renumerable groundnut-based intercropping systems. Integrated pest management modules for managing diseases and insect pests have been developed for various agroecological zones. Technologies for producing enzymes of industrial importance from groundnut shell and oil and de-oiled cakes have been developed. Varieties suitable for value addition have been identified, and value-added products have been prepared by the backing of technology. Table-purpose groundnut included dried, roasted and peanut butter, including chikki and namkeen. Chocolate industries are also taking groundnut for inclusion in their products. About 2/3 of the total produce in India and only 1/3 is consumed as nuts. Different variety of groundnut crops are cultivated here. Then there is a whole process of sorting them out, observing and preparing for the commercial use of the better quality crop. DGR also imparts its findings with local groundnut producers by providing field training to farmers and also through classes.
કૃષિ વિજ્ઞાન કેન્દ્રમાંથી મારે આ વખતે એક નવું વેરાયટીનું જે મગફળીનું બિયારણ મળેલું છે એમાંથી મને ખૂબ જ એટલે કે ખૂબ સરસ ડબલ મબલખ ઉત્પાદન મળ્યું છે.
The awareness and concern for quality amongst the Indian groundnut growers, sellers and processors are growing steadily. Multiple sorting and grading are fast becoming a norm. It is the one crop which is giving steady benefit to the farmers, and DGR is helping farmers realizing the potential of the crop, its marketability and its benefits. The projected domestic demand of groundnut would be about 25 million tons by the year 2050. The area under groundnut may not shrink any further and would stay around 6 to 7 million hectares. The rich oilseed has lot of potential, and slowly but gradually it is proving itself. Farmers are benefiting from it. The export industry is making gradual profit out of it, and India's food security program also has lot of options in it. ICAR is working towards making this wonder crop more beneficial for everybody. The future holds a lot for groundnut. Well, have some. This is a wonder nut after all.